A blessed day to you, all my sports to the bone people. Welcome back to the channel. And that is what you call a Sunday afternoon stroll in the park. Yes, West Indies getting the better of the UAE in their first ODI game of the series. And we had quite a few guys that stood out, none more than Brandon King, who was able to get his first ODI century. So shout out to Brandon King, shout out to the guys that were able to do the job with the ball. So we're going to go through it, man. We're going to go through the scorecard. So just give a listening ear until the end and make sure you leave a comment. Also, we are going to be live this evening at 6 p.m. So we'll be able to talk about the game. And, we'll be able to talk about Darren Sammy and Carl Hoop and all of them appointments. So just bear with me, my peeps. So it was the toss belonged to the UAE, and they decided that they wanted to bat first. Turned out to be not too much of a good decision for them, as they were bowled out for 202. At one point in time, the game was getting a little bit boring because, they were just strolling and we weren't taking any wicket, and it wasn't entertaining. But then we were able to clean up the last couple of wickets in the back end, and then it was all fireworks from Brandon King and Johnson Charles. So 202 is what they got, and we got a chance to see Keemo Paul opening the bowling for West Indies. Yes, my peeps, wasn't vintage Keemo Paul in terms of his pace, but he got the ball to move around pretty much. You understand? He got the ball to nip around, and he actually took a wicket with the second delivery of his of the innings. So Keemo Paul, he led the way for us with 3 wickets. Yeah, man, he got 3 wickets, and he was supported by Dominic Drakes and also leg spinner Yannick Karaya, who was extremely difficult to face in the latter part of his bowling spell. Yeah, man, they found it quite difficult to deal with Karaya. So let me just give you the bowling figures real quick before I go down into our batting. So Keemo Paul bowled 7.1 overs and he picked up 3 wickets for 34 runs. Dominic Drakes bowled 9 overs. He picked up 2 wickets for 29 runs. We had Hodge. Hodge bowled 6 overs, 28 runs. Didn't get any wickets. I think he bowled a little bit too short and he was rushing through his overs, if you ask me. Probably nerves, but, definitely didn't get it as well as I would have wanted. Odin Smith is another one, my peeps. He ended up getting 2 wickets. He bowled 8 overs for 40 runs, picked up 2 wickets. Was a little bit expensive when he started off his spell. Was a little bit wayward, getting bowling some wides and some short balls. Actually hit one of the batsmen flush on the helmet, and the batsman had to leave the pitch. Raston Chase was able to bowl his 10 overs, picked up 1 for 39. Could have been 2, but he actually bowled one of the batsmen, but when they check, he actually overstepped the front line. So that is how it went for him. Yannick Karaya, he was extremely good, getting 2 for 26 from his 7 overs. So those were the bowlers, my viewers. In terms of the wickets, in terms of when the wickets fell, they were 0 for 1, 25 for 2, and from 25 for 2, they really pushed on, my peeps. And it was at this point I was like, come on, what's going on? Let's pick up a wicket. And even though we weren't getting any wickets at this point, it's not like they were scoring rapidly. So from 25 for 2, they went up to 100 for 3, then 105 for 4, 107 for 5, 129 for 6, 145 for 7, 193 for 8, 202 for 9, 202 all out. So that is how it went for the UAE. Now, when it was time for us to bat, my viewers and subscribers, before I even go into our batting innings, I must commend Shea Hope for how he marshaled the bowlers. He was extremely hot, and when Keemo Paul bowled, I think it was 3 overs or 4 overs, and he took him off, I was saying to myself, yeah man, Shea Hope is really paying attention to what is happening. He was extremely hot, And we know how prone Kimo Paul is to injuries, especially when it comes on to his hamstring. So what you don't want is a bowler like Kimo Paul in the heat, bowling 5-6 overs on the trot. So I was really happy how he rotated the bowlers and kept everybody fresh. And as a result of that, we were able to bowl them down. Now, Brandon King, he was majestic, my viewers and subscribers, getting 112 of 112 deliveries. Now, he, alongside Johnson Charles, opened, and they were able to get us off to a relatively good start. We got over 50 before we actually lost a wicket. And once again, this decision by Shea Hope to bat down the order, continues to prove dividend for us, as Brandon King was able to get that century there. So 112 of 112 deliveries. He had 4 sixes and 12 fours in that knock. So 12 fours and 4 sixes for Brandon King. Getting, I think this is his first ODI century. He has scored centuries in T20 format before, but this is the first ODI. Johnson Charles, 24 from 19. He got 4 fours and 1 6. Was actually a little bit troubled in the beginning. But after he got off, he looked good. But then he went across the line and slugged after a delivery and was bowled. Lost his leg stump. Shamar Brooks, he came in at number 3. And, he pushed the ball around. He wasn't going at a runner ball or anything. But, he did what was required at the time. Just to come in and stabilize. It's not like we were way behind on the run rate or anything. So, I am happy how he came in and he played. I think he can consider himself lucky. He was actually, in my opinion, out plumb. But the umpire didn't give him out. And, he went on to get 44 or 58 before he was eventually dismissed. Casey Carty, he remained not out on 7. So Carty came into bat before Shea Hope. And Carty made 7 from 19. So that is something that a lot of people are always talking about where Casey Carty is concerned. Very good player, very good young player. But his strike rate definitely needs to go up. One could say in this situation, in this game, he didn't need to do anything reckless and or anything like that. But from a general point of view, whenever he bats, he tends to soak up a lot of dot balls. But, he did the job what was required in this game. Shea Hope eventually came in and finished it off quite nicely. He actually got 2 sixes. So he made 13 off 4. And as I said, he got 2 sixes out of that. So that is how it went, my peeps, in terms of the bowling for the UAE side. The wickets were actually shared. So we saw Khan. Both Khans got getting 1 wicket each. Mustafa, he picked up 1 wicket. So, those were the guys that were able to get the wickets for them. In terms of how we lost the wickets, did I say we actually put on 50 before we lost the first wicket? It was actually 48. So it was 48 for 1. Then it was 139 for 2. 193 for 3. And then we got across the line quite convincingly. So we ended up scoring 206 for 3 of 35.2 overs. Shea Hope finishing off the game with a 6. So we won that game by 7 wickets and 88 deliveries to spare. So, that is how you have to play when you are going up against Associate Nations. You have to go out there and get the job done. So once again, shout out to the guys, Carl Hooper, Darren Sammy, and the other assistant coach, getting their first victory as leaders in the West Indies white ball setup. So yeah, we're going to leave it right there for now. Whatever I did not touch on, remember, we are going to be live later on at 6 p.m. So you can come and chat with us. 6 p.m. This America time. If you're in Jamaica, that's around about 5 p.m. So just come through and let us have a chat, man. Big up.